Welcome back for a special edition of Dollars and Cents, some financial advice in a language you can understand. I'm Mark Friedman.
And I'm Marion Gilman.
And you know, the market has been extraordinarily volatile over the past few weeks. And yeah, we've gotten a few calls and we thought, hey, let's just jump right in there and tell you what we're talking to our clients about. What are we hearing? What are we seeing?
Absolutely. So, you know, again, one of the problems over the past few weeks has been there's been a lot of back and forth about what's going to happen, and nobody really knows. By the way, if anybody tells you they know this is for certain, I wouldn't believe it, because we've had, you know, a variety of different discussions about tariffs, who's getting tariffs, the tariffs have been taken off. Do we actually know what will happen? No, we don't, and nobody does. Eventually, it will all shake out. But in the meantime, the market is reacting to this uncertainty. So we've seen a fall in stock prices over the past.
Nothing too significant, though.
No.
Nothing that's out of the ordinary.
Not at all. A 10% drop in the market is very typical to happen once or twice a year, and we have just reached that.
Well, as we stand right now, the S&P 500 is down 5% from its high this year.
I think it's year to date.
Year to date.
Yeah.
5%
So
year to
it's
date.
down 5% year to date. Large value stocks are essentially flat. It's the large growth stocks, it's the tech stocks that have really been hit hard. And so that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, but interestingly, we saw this statistic. So those tech stocks, you're hearing the story about Tesla and Google and all of these others and NVIDIA being down so much for the year. But guess what? On a one-year rolling basis, that magnificent 7 group of stocks, the Googles, the Metas, the NVIDIAs, the Teslas, et cetera, they're still up on a one-year rolling basis as of the 11th of March, 19.62%.
Which is a huge return for stocks over the course of any year. So again, take it all with a grain of salt. Don't think that everything is down. We also want to point out that in a well-balanced portfolio for somebody who's older in retirement or ready for retirement, you typically would have a portion of that asset allocation in bonds. Bonds have actually done quite well year to date. U.S. bonds have done very well. They're actually up between 2 and 3%. So you know what? That's a great return for bonds, even though it doesn't sound like a huge amount, but for a couple months time frame. So that balances out the portfolio. If you have international stocks have actually also have had a positive return over this year-to-date time frame.
Yeah, and if you're wondering if we're getting a few calls, yeah, we have. Not a lot.
Always.
But the few calls primarily are coming from people that have been with us for like 3 years or less. And so all they saw was the market just go up for a while. And now we're seeing this normalized pullback. This happens.
All the time.
The best calls we get are from our clients who've been with us 3 years or longer, and they say, hey, I've got some money in the money market fund. I've got some money in the bank. Is now a good time to put it to work? We believe that if you're a long-term investor, it absolutely is a great time.
Right.
But Marion, also, what about all this news, this uncertainty, and something that the market doesn't like is uncertainty. And we have a new president in office.
Right.
And he's a little untraditional. We kind of knew that going in anyways. And he's done a lot and made a lot of statements and taken a lot of actions in the first, if you will, 60 days that he's been in office, whether it's been threats of tariffs, whether it's been executive orders, whether it's been the establishment of DOGE, the conflicts in Ukraine and Russia and Israel and Gaza and immigration and all of these things that are all happening. A lot of noise, and everybody tries to make sense of it, and then some people turn those things into headlines, and that can be disastrous.
Absolutely. Remember, doom sells. So bad headlines are what grabs your attention. You want to be certain that not only are you listening to news that confirms your beliefs and reinforces them, but also please listen to the other side, because there are two sides to every story, and you're not getting the full story if you're only listening to somebody who's biased in terms of the Democrats or someone who's biased in terms of the Republicans. Keep it balanced. And honestly, if somebody tells you, well, this is absolutely going to happen, you have no idea. They have no idea.
Nobody
idea
whatsoever.
knows. Yeah, maybe Trump knows, the president knows. I'm not even sure.
Let me tell you, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes.
That's right.
Like any other business that will surprise you. You always hear about these deals that are being cut, arrangements that are being made. There's a lot of non-compete conversations, the NDA, non-disclosure agreements that get signed. You don't know what's going on. There's people speculating.
Right.
And
that's the worst.
You can get yourself in a lot of trouble.
Right.
Our advice is to stay rational during these emotional times. And frankly, it's not that, we're emotional right now because we hear it in the news.
Right.
This is very normal, believe it or not.
And we will look back on it. Remember, 5 years ago, what were we doing?
Dealing with COVID.
We were sitting at home. And how many people did you hear say, oh my God, these businesses are all going to go out of business. We're never going to leave our house again. We're never going to a restaurant.
It's not a recession. It's a depression.
We are going right into that depression.
Well,
absolutely. And look where we are today.
Yeah,
we're actually farther ahead of the
than we could have ever
GDP
imagined.
than we ever would have imagined.
Yeah. So that's our advice in a language you can understand for today. We will be doing our quarterly webinars. You'll hear more about those. We'll have some other videos that are coming up in the weeks to come. Follow our newsletter. This is also to our clients. Thank you, as always, for being supportive of what we do. We're going to be there for you. If you have any questions at all, always feel free to reach out to us.
Absolutely.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
During today's episode of Dollars and Cents with Friedman Financial, your host may have discussed specific financial planning and investment ideas that are for general information only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations. Please remember that investing involves risk and may include loss of principal. Always consult a certified financial planner professional, qualified attorney, or tax advisor prior to investing to determine what is appropriate for you. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC.